This is the MLW Radio Network.
Welcome, everybody, to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I am your tour guide, Josh Shernoff, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, Claus, what's on your mind?
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas week.
Merry Christmas week.
Yeah, because we're kind of on schedule to remember a fucking event the week that it happened.
This is all you. All credit goes to Meanie. I absolutely forgot that this was going to be our Christmas episode. And we log on, and Meanie is dressed to the nines as Meanie Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another reason to join patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie, so you can see this. I was dressed to the not nines, probably about a 2, and then left everybody on Patreon here so I could go put on my nice Mind of the Meanie ugly Christmas sweatshirt, and it is comfortable and it looks good, and we're here to celebrate, and we'll put a picture out on social media to encourage you to come watch us on Patreon.
That's very brave of you to leave us in your house like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing worth stealing. It's right. My wife and I have talked about it before. Like, we've said things like, there'll be times we'll be like, oh man, we didn't, did you lock that door? Did you do whatever? And we've looked and we're like, there's the safety aspect when you're here, but when you're not here, we don't have look, I'm not saying go ahead and steal my TVs. That would suck, but we realistically, it's not like I've got my fine jewels lying around somewhere, and so it's not unless they want to steal some old mint on card action figures, melt down my belt.
Me and Mrs. Meanie have this joke that our house is such a mess that if somebody broke into our house, they'd be like, "Oh, somebody already got here." And they would just fucking
ransack
leave
the place already.
Oh yeah. I make it sound like our house is horrible. It's not horrible. It's just we got fucking this. We have no organizing skills. This new studio is like the most organized thing we've ever done.
I was gonna say the studio looks
as
great.
far as the house. Thank you.
Studio looks great.
As does yours.
Oh, thank you.
We're sucking each other's dick right now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But here's the like a candy cane. The difference is if the camera panned anywhere else in here, you see a construction site. But we saw on our youtube.com/Mind of the Meanie, we saw a nice tour of your studio, and it does not look like a construction site. Every inch of that place is being utilized for something, and it's really, really cool.
It's a multifunctional room. This used to be my mom's room before she moved in with my sister, and when she moved out, it was just kind of a room where we kept stuff. I just throw it back in mom's room, because the only thing left was her bed.
Right.
She had taken everything else, so I was just let's put shit back there. And then we were for the last couple of years, we were contemplating moving back here, and then because I've said before, my fucking neighbors out front, they're a bunch of fucking chatty Cathys. They don't care if it's 7 a.m. Hey, hon, how are you doing? Shut the fuck up, man. So I was like, let's move to the back room, right?
Yeah.
And this, besides the podcast facilitated a lot of it too. We were getting a new bed. My friend gave me a brand new bed. I have a friend, he's this Italian dude. He gives me food and furniture all the time. Hey, you need a couch.
That's the friend you want to have.
Yeah. Hey, you need a new bed? And we got we had a king size bed, which I had since 1999. When I was in ECW, I was I basically slept on a mattress that was on those plastic milk crates. The poor man's basketball hoop, thing. That you see in Hoosiers or something.
I had those were growing up. Those were like my toy bins that we had. Yeah,
those things were perfect. I had a mattress on that, and which perfect because I had all my VHS in it. So let me see. While I watch the wrestling, lift up the bed and pull out a VHS tape. But dude, that bed was going to shit. I was like, if I ever start making money, I'm going to treat myself to a fucking king-size bed. And lo and behold, signed with WWE. We moved to a new house. Instead of taking that shit with me, I threw it out. I was like, I ordered a new bed, new furniture set, and stuff like that. So when I moved into this house from that house, the fucking staircase is like a motherfucker. It's like me and my one buddy back in I moved in this house in 2002, and we tried to get that motherfucker up the steps, and I felt it was just we basically had to fold the mattress in half and try to sandwich it up. So that's kind of been the conundrum of why I've never had a new bed in almost 20 years. But then my friend was like, hey, you want a new bed? And the bed we had before we got this new one, it was basically my side of the bed was like sleeping in a gully. Just like a permanent indentation in the fucking mattress. So when I would get up to leave for the day, Mrs. Meanie would roll over. She would accidentally roll into my side of the bed. And it was like going down a fucking mountain, just. She was like the girl in Little House on the Prairie rolling down the hill. Oh, what the fuck, man? So my buddy was like, "Hey, you want a new bed?" And this thing is like a piece of fucking. It's like a ring. It's like a fucking steel frame. It's like I could never have thought of getting this bed, but he sent me a photo. I was like, "Fuck yeah!" So I was like, "Dude, we're getting a new bed. Do you want to instead of we've always been dreaming of moving to the back room. Just move that son of a bitch right into the back room. We'll make this our new bedroom." And then when it came to do the measuring and shit, we're like, dude, if we put that bed in this room, it would be the only thing in this fucking room. So we're like, you know what? We'll stay up front. And then Mrs. Meanie, to her credit, man, she reupholstered Mom's bed. Mom, towards the her later years, she had arthritis and stuff, and she would have a cup of coffee, and her hands would shake, and sometimes the coffee would spill and stuff like that. Mrs. Meanie went and got this new fabric, reupholstered the box spring, and we gimmicked the mattress, and she actually, Mrs. Meanie went through here and cleaned the carpets by hand. She got the stuff you just spray. Got all the fucking remnants of the Mama Meanie's coffee spills out of here. But, and then we got a nice little throw rug. But, yeah, this room is awesome. We finally start hanging up art and Sant posters we had from over the years. And it's still not done. We still want to hang, in front of me, we got a Pearl Jam poster from the last show at the Spectrum that we went to. She has a signed photo from the Kyoto brothers who did Killer Clowns in Outer Space. Yeah. And, Mr. Slichter was kind enough to send me an Andre the Giant poster that I need to get a frame for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, because I'm Andre Mark. So, we're going to turn these other walls into art installations of some sort. Though this room's definitely going to have a yin and yang or whatever, because Mrs. Meanie's side's over here. This is my podcasting space. That wall will be joint. The wall in front of me will be joint artwork and stuff like that with the TV. We got a Roku stereo. It's just a nice hangout room. We've been hanging out here. At the end of the day, we'll come upstairs, change into our pajamas, and this last night we watched a couple documentaries and stuff like that, or watch Christmas Vacation. We watched that last night too.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, I mean that's the nice thing about having that that space. It's what I'm so excited for whenever this freaking thing finally gets finished in my basement here, the studio, because for the last 5 years, what's that?
No pun intended.
Yeah. For the last 5+ years, like 5.5 years or so, my home office has been off of my bedroom. So then when you look at the last 6 months, I've been sharing that with my newborn son. And it's all, there's never, the kids, like you remember the episode where my daughter moved in and where she just came into the room while we're recording, and just, so it'll be
cute though.
It was, but it'll be, it was cute while we were doing our show, but if it were to happen while I was doing like the Fight and Focuses or something live, and I'm covering some boxing thing I don't know shit about, so which I just did 2 days ago.
I'll slip her a $5 to run in the room and go, boxing's bullshit.
Boxing's a work.
Fake. They blade.
So hey, so little inside baseball that we like to do later today. When we finish this, Meanie, we will be sitting down with Joel Gertner and recording. Well, indeed. I don't know if he's prepared an intro for himself.
I don't know.
I don't want to put him on the spot.
Should I text him?
Yeah, I don't want to put him on the spot, but
Well, sometimes like some wrestlers work better under pressure on the fly, because that's why, like that's why I say when let's do Ask Meanie Anything, I don't want to know the questions in advance. Yeah, because I want to give my honest, off the cuff impression, where it's going to be a little bit different with This Is Extreme. It'll be a little bit more like Conrad, where there's prepared gimmicks.
Yeah, no, and it is. And I mean, I've got, I want to say.
Not that I'm not slagging what we do. It's two different beasts.
No, there's nothing wrong.
I like this to be off the cuff.
Improv versus scripted, there's no like, one's better than the other. They're different. No. And I think what we do here is basically more improv in that regard. We have a very loose idea to absolutely no idea what we're going to talk about, but it's easy. It's the same, people don't need a script. If you bump into somebody on the street and, pre-pandemic, and you say to them, hey, how's everything? How was your day today? Like, you don't need a script for that. You're just talking, and that's what this show is. But, that one I've got, I want to say 19. I whittled it down to 19 pages of notes. So, which sounds a lot worse than it really is.
Sounds like fucking homework to me.
You know what? It was, but I got to tell you,
that's cool.
If you had given me this homework back in school and said your homework is to watch Barely Legal and take notes and come up with questions to ask the Blue Meanie and Joel Gertner, that is the type of homework I think I would have aced. So I'm pretty excited about it. Going through and doing the research allowed me to come up with a bunch of questions that I maybe otherwise wouldn't have thought of. And in traditional, ad-free shows in Conrad world way, we're taking a look back at the Observer and our good friend Dave Meltzer. And
got the corduroys.
Yeah, I would describe it more
got the stonewash.
I would describe it more as if Bruce was reading from the Observer as opposed to Conrad, the guy who doesn't necessarily enjoy that type of, let's put it this way. There are plenty of things that were quote unquote reported that were absolutely not true. And not just because it's like, oh, someone told him. It was like straight up like, I'll give you all, it's Mind of the Meanie. You can get a little peek behind the curtain a few weeks in advance. There's one part Meltzer talks about how the lighting was terrible. The lighting had never changed. It was because because Shane Douglas came out with a smoke machine. And it kind of fogged up, which happens all the time, especially in the Attitude Era. It used to happen from the pyro and stuff. But to report, the lighting was really bad. No, the lighting wasn't bad. The lighting was exactly what it was the entire time. So anyway, we have some fun with that. But I'm excited for it. I'm like,
dude, same here.
Pumped and energized, and I got a much nicer camera for that. Just Screw these Patreon people. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We love you.
Well, you have this camera because you were doing the stuff for Fight TV and doing interviews and stuff like that.
This is the camera that we were using for Fight, and this is the camera that I use. What's up?
We've kind of inspired each other to up each other's game.
Oh yeah,
in a way, with our home studios and stuff like that.
Yeah,
where and that's a good thing.
The big difference between what we're going to be doing then with for ad-free shows and what we do here, even though they're both video, and I will eventually switch to that nice camera once I'm not working off of a battery. But one of the things, like for instance with here, I wear these big comfy headphones. When we do the other thing, I'm gonna have my little like earpiece that I have when I do the stuff for Fight, because we're doing an audio podcast now, and if you are one of our beloved Patreon members, you get to watch us do an audio podcast. Whereas for ad-free shows, for That Was Extreme, we're actually doing a video broadcast where I believe you will eventually be able to download the audio from it. So it's a different... the mindset. For instance, I'll be wearing my suit and my custom tie. It's a different thing, much like when we change things up to do the video version on our YouTube channel when we hit 500 subscribers, which reminds me, Meanie.
Yes.
We did it. We broke 1,000.
Yeah.
We currently have, let all of you know, 1,044 subscribers. So we blew past it. Since last week when we begged and pleaded for people to subscribe.
Please like us.
So yeah, man, so excited about that.
That's very cool.
Yeah, really, really happy to have so many people on board, to know that so many people are getting what we're putting out there, like the Mrs. Meanie run-ins, which there's a brand new one with Mrs. Meanie, kind of doing an introduction, crystals for beginners, which is super cool. Crystals have always never really been into I never really knew about crystals in that regard. Like, people have like meanings to them or things like that.
Right.
But crystals in general, visually, have always just like blown my mind. Like I always look at them, I'm just like, dude, like what else is going on inside of things? Like if that's what's going on inside a rock, like, what's going on inside the telephone pole,
This is going to sound like crazy pro wrestler making shit up stuff, which, pro wrestlers are prone to do sometimes. But there is something to the crystals and rocks and stuff like that, because like one time she bought like this piece. I'm not even going to try to sound. I can't even pronounce Lagavulin. I ain't going to try to pronounce whatever the fuck that her thing was. But she put something next to our bed, and like I went to sleep that night, and my dreams were like super duper fucking like realistic.
Man,
I was like, man, I fucking really dreamt. And she's like, oh, maybe because and she's like, oh, she held up the thing. I went, oh.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something to it.
And it absolutely was 50-50. It could have been the crystals, could have been the shit she put in your drink. It could have been either of those. And that's what was.
Of course, I'm failing now, but I usually. Hold on. I'm looking through my pockets here. I usually carry a thumbstone, too.
What are you digging for in there? Hold on.
That's the new one, right?
That's the new one.
For people who missed last week's episode, if you didn't stick through the credits, there was a little phone call with my boy Donnie.
Great point. I'm glad you brought that up, because I feel like there are a decent amount of people, and no offense to us or to them, like who probably, when you hear me doing the join us again next Monday for another trip, are probably like, okay, I don't need to listen. I can stop here. But no, we went to a phone call with Donnie. And
I called an audible because remember I was trying last week. I miserably failed at trying to pronounce Lagavulin. I was calling
the streak continues.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I never fail. That train's never late. But like I texted him live during the show. I was like, hey man, you want to hop on real quick? And as we finished, he got back. He was like, oh shit, I just got this. I was like, fuck it.
That's just it.
Like my favorite part of the movies is like when they put a PS after the credits, like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I was like, why are you still here? You know, kind of thing. So I was like, fuck, let's have our own little PS. So after the MLW sounder, goodbye, the ticket home sounder, we called Donnie on the fly, and God, it was like a 3 or 4 minute call, but it was still pretty cool. And somebody said, "Did you get a hold of this?" I was like, "Oh, did you hear this?" And then hit that, hit that again.
Share that again. That was one. That was not edited together. That was. Oh man! I mean,
one more time.
I just added the first one onto the end there, but dude, these are. I gotta be honest with you.
That's Peter Griffin, man. What's funnier than a fart? Another fart.
I gotta tell you, I never, prior to the first time I heard you fart, I never imagined what your farts would sound like. It was not something that ever crossed my mind.
Yeah.
However, after hearing your farts, this is not what I thought they'd like. I just expected you to have so much more
bass.
Yes. Much more like the Walmart sound. Travis says that sounded like it must have hurt. But again, I would like to dissect this for a minute if we could. Here, we got the...
Go ahead.
Okay, so the first part there, you're shitting yourself. That's a pants changer. And then the one at the end was just kind of like, we're all done. Nope, hey, I'm still here. And then just... It's that like last little... Like when ducks are crossing the street and that last little one comes running up behind... You know, that's basically what that was.
Yeah, this is the Walmart fart.
That's what I expect. Well, but you know what? Hey, I want to know what your other one sounds like mixed in with.
Hold on, a count of 3. Yep. I'll do. Are you going to hit first or me?
I'll hit first.
Okay.
Right. 1, 2, 3, hit.
Funny thing is, I got one in the fucking gorilla position. That's
just for those keeping track, I'm 37, Meanie's 47, and this is a professional podcast. Semi. Everyone watching live paid for this.
Yeah. Oh, well then.
Ask yourselves, what are you doing? Oh, God. Call that one the squeaky door.
I work my farts like fucking Eddie Van Halen works a fucking whammy bar on the guitar. That's the secret. You know, you start upright as the fart, but as you bend, it manipulates the hole.
Oh.
Kind of like, when, Pee Wee Herman plays the fucking balloon.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You just fucking...
Stretch the old balloon knot.
Yeah. No pun. Yeah, you're standing and like halfway through, do like a little half squat. And then you'll change the pitch and everything. It's fucking great.
Dear God.
Or what I do is I'll fucking put my forearms across my gut and lean over, push it on the bagpipe. And
oh my God.
There's a science to it.
There is. And that's, if nothing, you get to learn things here on Mind of the Meanie.
Man, it fucking stinks in here. Jesus Christ.
Travis says, I'm glad I woke up early this week, not holding anything back. Welcome. This is what you've been missing. Hey, I do want to say thank you to Travis. Also, congratulate us. Devin said something that, I'm going to be honest, I never thought about this, and I don't know if this is entirely true, but means a lot. He said, I think it's so impressive that Josh is the first ad-free show's host that isn't Conrad. That's a big deal. Congrats. So there are other people, and thank you. There are other people. I know Mance Warner has his show. There are tons of other people have their shows, but I guess in this kind of format, and this is the ECW answer to, what happened when and 83 weeks being WCW. And
right. This is the ECW brand,
Yeah. So thank you, and shit, no pressure, I guess, right?
Fuck me.
Hadn't thought about that. Okay. So we're gonna wrap this up early so I can do some reviewing of my notes.
Yeah.
No, you know what?
There's other shows, but
yeah.
Like one of my favorite things on there is the Sad News Bears.
Oh,
it's
awesome.
just, but that's just like a mishmash.
Yeah.
Of, that's like the Whack Pack getting together.
So I think the thing is,
not that they're the Whack Pack, but
no,
they had
great,
me on that
though.
show. They had me on that show, and I was a little intimidated because there are a lot of fucking funny people in that room, between the Casio Kid and everybody else, and just like, holy shit, how am I going to fucking hang? Because it's a pretty good group of ball busters.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my invite.
I felt like
Dave Silva.
Hey, me and him could do a show on like bathrooms we destroyed. We both fucking destroyed the fucking green room at the last ever Starcast. So, so much so that fucking Bruce put it over. Conrad put it. He's like, oh, you know who fucking destroyed the bathroom at fucking Starcast, the green room bathroom at Starcast, the Blue Meanie. And then he went and told the story how I destroyed Jason Campbell's car, which inspired Meanie Toons.
Yeah.
So,
which in turn, Meanie Toons inspired Short Stories of Swaggle over on ad-free shows. So this has been a real give and take. There's been a relationship between you, Conrad, and your ass that has really blossomed.
I want to hear Conrad fart, man. I'm sure
he could clear a room. I have no question.
Yeah, he's too much. He's a gentleman.
Yeah,
maybe.
His is, I think.
Like George Carlin said, it's the fart that would end a marriage.
Yeah. Well, him and Megan seem to be going strong, so I guess he has his. This is good. Let's talk about Conrad farting a little bit more before our first episode on his network has aired. That's good. Devin pointed out that all those other shows we were talking about are behind the paywall. So if this is free, I'm the first.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it is free because I guess Conrad looked at it and said, "Well, no one's paying for this shit." That is
no
not
pun
true.
intended.
But
I'm glad we're not behind the paywall.
Yes.
For our Pod Squad.
I'm glad for the Pod Squad, but also because it means so much to us that Conrad actually saw this as something. Let's put this out for everyone to see as a way to draw people, hopefully, to ad-free shows. And that really, all kidding aside, that's something that I think to both of us really meant a lot, because here's a guy saying, we'd like to put your brand of entertainment out there to encourage people to check out the rest of what we have to offer. Man. Yeah, that's really, you getting nervous yet about doing this? Because I'm starting to. No, it's going to be so much fun. And then you add Gertner into the mix. And that's something I'm so excited for, because you and I think we have a proven track record of just being able to make each other laugh with fart jokes and do whatever. And but bringing Gertner
we have a rapport.
We have a rapport, and I mean, you and Joel have a long friendship and rapport, and many a long car ride. And Joel and I, he was a guest on my show once, and then he and I did commentary for Go Professional Wrestling for their show. Yeah, and that's the only time Joel and I ever got to work together. And it was a blast. Both times I just felt like we had just instant. That's the blast. That's what I'm talking about. We had instant chemistry, so I'm really excited to see.
You should hear Joel fart.
What?
You should hear Joel fart.
His has got to be deep.
It sounds like a fucking English bulldog gargling. It's like.
So I'm gonna out one of my friends. I'm not gonna call Calvin by his name because I don't want to embarrass him.
Right. Why would you do that?
No, because then people would be like, oh, he's obviously talking about Calvin Tan, the guy who goes around with him and does, all of his video work, when it's no pandemic. So I'm not going to embarrass Calvin like that. So
why would you out Calvin like that? I mean, like, we would never put his name out there like that.
No, I'm not going to come out and be like, oh, my story's about Calvin Tan. No, I'm not going to do that to him. I'm just going to say simply my friend, a friend of mine. So
nobody would know.
So nobody will know.
Because we haven't said his name.
No, between you and me, it is. I'm talking about Calvin. But
okay.
But we won't tell anybody else. But no, Calvin, crap. My friend, he has had...
You fucked up.
That guy has a fart that has... Every fart has sounded the same since I can at least say back in 1999. And it's always, let me wet the whistle.
Or farting like it's 1999.
It's always just this. That's it. Every time. Always the same. And you have to remember, he and I mean, we went through...
This whole fart is my finishing act. It's just...
No, it is just every time. Yeah, but that's it. It's... The dude will... it's the same... damn sound, the same pitch, the same everything since 99. And he and I had years in college where, I mean, God, we saw each other almost every single day for like 4 years straight. And that man never was a different sound other than, and that was it.
When he farts through people yell, Happy New Year! Like they think it's a cork. Just
so that was it. And,
Merry New Year.
Yeah. Another friend of mine,
God bless him,
I'm not going to say his name because then, of course, Matt Mangle will get embarrassed. But he just, man, he could let one. We would do long car trips, and his was more like kind of like the, and then he'd hit you with the pick it up at the end, which I'm not sure what that means. But, yeah, so I've been surrounded by gas for a very long time.
Mrs. Meanie's been playing is it Gears of War or something like that? Something like that. But she has a horse in the game, and there's an option where you can make your horse take a shit. And you just hit the button, and the guy goes, out with it. And the horse starts shit. All right, out with it. And boom, boom, boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
and I giggle like a little fucking infant. I'm like,
no, dude, farts are funny.
Yeah, yeah, but you would never embarrass Matt Mangle like that.
No,
out.
Not gonna do that. No, this is a man. He's got children. Come on, I'm not. Yeah, I want them back listening to this one day and knowing that he used to blow up our cars and made. So one time.
Yes.
All right. So
this one time in band camp.
So an old a friend of ours named Biz, Bismod is his name. We called him Biz. So he had a girlfriend back in the day that Matt was not a big fan of.
Okay.
So Biz is driving. His girlfriend's in the passenger seat. Matt's in the back, and Matt is just lighting that back seat up. He is just, but they're silent. So he is just doing this to try and like take her out.
Because there's a fucking log in there as a fucking silencer.
But no, this is an intentional thing that resulted in, I believe, them having to pull over for her to either gag or I don't believe true vomit made its appearance. But yeah, that was the thing. He smoked her out, and
well, smoke them out.
Yep. Yeah, it was a slobber knocker. But
dude, send me over to Afghanistan. Fucking, I would have smoked out of fucking Bin Laden. Just like, no more. Just I give up. You got me. Got me. Me or I'll go out and get Saddam. Okay.
Just
you got me.
They dig a tiny little hole. You sit down on it, and that's it. Get them right out of their cave.
It'd be like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Just.
Oh man. It's covered in soot afterward. Well, I guess
I surrender.
Oh man. So what else? What else is on your mind, Meanie? It's Christmas week. This is the most wonderful time of the year in a year that is literally the worst year ever.
Dude, fucking post office kind of fucked us.
Oh yeah, man. Did you dry for sure? They're doing terribly. Yeah. We're still waiting for Hanukkah gifts for some of my kids.
Yeah. Well, Mrs. Meanie ordered mine, and she's looking at the tracking, and it's just like, I saw there's a meme, stop looking at your tracking, and it's in God's hands now, or something like that.
That's true. Yeah.
And she's stressing out about that, and just, this is final Christmas week here, and, luckily some of mine came for hers, and she's stressing out over mine, but I don't know.
Maybe this will help like the big box stores. Like maybe people will get so pissed off and just be like, you know what? I need to make sure that these stores stick around because Amazon will deliver it to my door the next day. But I need to know that if something's getting sent by the post office, although look, the post office is so much trouble. And I'm rooting for the post office.
Me too.
Yeah. Because A, they're the post office. And B, I may or may not own a post office. So in my shoot job. So I do. I own a building that is leased to a post office. So kind of hoping they get their shit together because not looking to release that anytime soon. Yeah, so it is such a cluster though. And look, I mean, between the holidays, it's always rough in the holidays, always. Yeah. And now the freaking pandemic.
Now that everybody's homebound.
Yeah. So you've got 10 times more people because the things that they're ordering, I think people are just ordering more things. I know with our kids, there were so many times where like, should we get this? Should we get that? And it's like, fuck it, this year's been such shit. Get both of them. That's what we did. I mean, we did that for us. We did that for like our nieces and nephews and stuff. Like where we were just like, just throw an extra something on here. This has been a rough year for everybody. And I think that's going on across the board. And it's just, man. And one thing, Meanie, that I hope people get this. And I've seen a lot of people like post about this. I mean, I know we all get this in our, what I'm saying is when the ball drops and it becomes 2021, it's still going to suck as bad as it did on December 31st, right? Yeah, and I think people, like even WWE recently put out a thing of, it's kind of funny actually. It was Drew McIntyre beating up 2020. Yeah. And then like 2021 comes in and like makes the save and like finishes off 2020. And it's like, that's really fun. And that's cool. And I'm hoping the bulk of the year, we're going to look back and go, what's that?
Yeah. It's a nice dream to have.
Yeah, but I'm hoping when we look at the bulk of 2021 at the end of the year, we look at it and we go, man, this was such a better year than 2020 was. But that first quarter to half is not going to be good. And in fact, could end up being worse than some parts of 2020. And I hope people aren't just like, well, shit, it's a new year. Yes, it is. Now we can all just run around without our masks, and it doesn't seem. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, it's not like the ball drops and then somebody comes in squeegees off the fucking the pallet and then you start fresh.
Can I take you back through that comment for a second there? The ball drops, someone comes and then squeegees off the pallet.
Yeah.
Let's just. I'm sorry. Just I needed that.
Sometimes you got to squeegee off the pallet.
Oh man, I'm just gonna save that audio for when my kids are old enough for the birds and the bees talk. Well, basically, the ball drops, someone comes, and then you just squeegee off the pallet. And
then you roll over and take a nap, or have a sandwich.
Maybe you had the sandwich before, in the middle,
or during.
Yeah. Mid-coital sandwich. Slichter, do not make that shirt.
No. I don't need that heat.
Oh. Hey, you know what I didn't have this morning? Coffee.
Coitus.
But you know what I did? That too. But you know what?
Oh, you're married.
Yeah, no, I'm married. Instead, I was woken up to, I don't even remember which kid it was that came into my room at 6 a.m. and just asked if it was my daughter. Comes in the room 6 a.m., wakes me up, in turn wakes my wife up, in turn wakes our youngest son up, just to ask for both a hug, which was very sweet, and then can I play in my room? And this is like the 15th day in a row that we've been like, play in your room. When you wake up, have at it. Go play in your room. Yeah. Don't wake us up at 6 a.m., especially when your little brother just went to sleep at 5:30 because he was up for an hour from 4:30 to 5:30. Anyway, hopefully that's going to change. He just started having food.
Have kids.
Yeah. Have kids, they say.
Yeah, my sister used to go. My sister used to say that to me and Tracy. Oh, when you go, never.
You know what's funny?
Never.
My daughter.
I'll rent them from you. I'll wind them up and I'll give them right back.
Yep, my daughter.
So I'm crazy Uncle Meanie.
My daughter asked if you and Mrs. Meanie. She actually asked. She said, do the Meanies have kids?" Mm-hmm. And I said, "No." I said, "They don't." And she goes, "Oh." She's like, "Are you sure? Blue Meanie and Mrs. Meanie, they don't?" And so I said that. I was like, "Well, have you been looking at IMDb or Wikipedia? Because, but."
Me and Shanna Jarvis.
Yeah, so I explained to her. I said, Meanie has one from a previous relationship he never had. And,
actually, here's world exclusive for our Patreon folks. Here's a photo of my kids.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's it. I know this is an audio forum.
Do we tell everyone what it is, or do we make them sign up for at least a month of Patreon?
Yeah. This is a photo of my children.
Beautiful. I would imagine, though, wouldn't that... More kids are on the way.
G-Ren.
So are those... So are...
Mr. Stinky.
So are those your kids, or is that who you're impregnating, and then those little tiny travel packs come out as your...
Yeah, got some in my beard.
Oh, God. A little bit in your mustache, too.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. I know how you hate those.
Yeah.
Going full circle back to episode 1 there. Hey, can I crack my drink open here? I've got the AHA Black Cherry Coffee.
Yeah. And kind of sticking with the theme here because it's kind of Christmassy.
Okay.
I got this one when we were at your Wegmans. Mrs. Meanie got it for shits and giggles.
Dude, how many did you get on that one trip?
This is bipolar. Not bipolar.
I'm sorry, what? I'm not laughing at bipolar disorder. I am laughing at the idea of your seltzer being bipolar.
Yeah.
It's weird. Depending on where you put it, it's either hot or cold, you know?
It's that time of the month. Seriously, though, it's by the brand called Polar. Dude, my fucking seltzer's so bipolar.
I seriously cannot stress enough how seriously we take mental health. This is not This is not a nag on being.
It was just an unfortunate phrasing.
Yes.
Because I was being legit, you know.
Yes, no, that's why it was funny.
This company called Polar made this beverage, which I'm about to drink.
Yeah.
It's a seltzer called, let's see, Yeti Mischief.
Oh, the fucking Yeti.
The Yeti. But it's supposed to taste like a Christmas tree. So it's like piney or something like that. So I figured, hey, it's Christmas, pine trees, whatever.
You ever seen video of when the Yeti attacked me?
Yeah.
Well, you were there.
I was standing like 20 feet from there. I was like, what the fuck?
I was just sitting there between a couple of ding-dongs, and the Yeti attacked me, that son of a bitch.
And this show's going to hell.
And then later on, he attacked me again. So, yes.
Too fun. You want to crack this?
Yeah, let's do it. Here we go.
3.
On 3.
Yeah.
Oh. Delicious. Oh. This has been.
That motherfucker made me spray.
Oh. Oh, God. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it tastes like a fucking Christmas tree. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know, because my Christmas tree is it's not real, so yeah. It just tastes like plastic, but
yeah. Yeah, so as is ours. I never really dug it because there's needles everywhere, and
No, listen, we've had the same tree for 5 years now, and every year we take it out. My wife commented last night that it wasn't properly fluffed. And I said, well, you're the fluffer in this relationship. And then I slept on the couch. But no. Yeah, apparently the tree needs to be it does, because it folds up. You need to fluff it out. But and especially you read these things online where people are like, make sure to check, these little things here, they're actually going to release bugs all into your home. I'm like, the fuck, what do you need that for? No. And then you see people, they're like cutting down the real trees, and they're bringing them in, and it's like, oh, but nothing beats a real tree. And it's like, I'm sure. But you know what does beat bugs infesting your house? A plastic tree. So,
so just fluff it up.
Yeah.
Fluff it up, dangle the balls. And,
jingle them. Hey, so Go Birds? Are we still is Go Birds still a thing?
I took the sound. Yeah.
They're playing the Cardinals tomorrow.
That's going to be a good game, I think, though.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the Eagles won last week.
Yeah.
So that was new, but the Cardinals
I actually did my Eagles Meanies Birds recap for the Brawl Network after a win.
It was the first positive experience.
It might have been, yeah. Me, Giovanni, and Connor over there on the fight, the Eagles Brawl. Yeah, I'm confusing my podcast host. You're on the Fight Network. Yeah. He's on the Brawl Network.
Well, you're also on Fight for alternative commentary.
Yeah.
But
it was
cool.
Only
quarterly.
Yeah. But, we got a nice little quarterback controversy here in Philly, which is par for the course. Philly's always had one.
Of course.
I know some of our listeners are from elsewhere and might not give a shit, but indulge me for a second, if you can indulge my farts. As long as I can remember, there's always been some kind of quarterback controversy whether it was Cunningham replacing Jaworski, and then everybody wanted Mike McMahon from the Bears to replace Cunningham, and then Cunningham eventually getting replaced by Rodney Peete, and then we had a couple iffy years there, and then we got Donovan, and then
McNabb used to piss me off. There was one. He would always smile.
Yeah.
Smile when he would fuck up.
Right.
And he would give this smile that to me read as, well, I still get my millions. Pretty much. I'm like, hey, fuck you, because I just gave some time to watch this game, and I'd like you to try, but yeah.
I was the same way. It's just like he would just throw a ball that would kill a small family of worms into the ground, and just be like, pat his chest and go, oh, my bad.
Yep.
Like, dude, fuck. And then like
we know it was your bad.
Yeah, obviously, Donovan. And then like every other year, like it seemed like he had an injury, and then like the second everybody's like, oh, AJ Philly's got to replace him, or eventually, and then eventually,
I remember having a conversation with a buddy of mine, and where I'm just like, fucking McNabb. I'm like, dude, he just sucks, and he was like, he doesn't suck. He's the the best at like this, that. And he starts reading off stats, and he's like the best in the league at this and all that. And I'm like, I get that on paper, but then when you go fuck up all the time, like that's where I'm judging. So, for instance, we all know that that Wentz is on paper incredible.
Yeah, but
that's not what we've been seeing. So, and that's kind of the thing when you're looking at it, it's how are you going to judge somebody?
Yeah.
So.
Well, in some ways, the organization has done him no favors.
That's fair.
He's surrounded by a line that's constantly hurt or revolving. And then, he has the best season, which, he went 11-1, led to our Super Bowl, got injured. Which I was at that game. That was crazy. It's my fault. And then they win the Super Bowl, and then like he's got to he comes back the next season, and the guy who won the Super Bowl's his backup, and there's a statue to him outside the stadium. So he goes down again, and then like this year they, he finally gets to a playoff. He did great. I mean they sucked early last year, but there's no OT. I mean, he didn't play in the preseason also. Right. But essentially, everybody was injured, and he basically took the practice squad to the playoffs. Now, you go to the playoffs, he gets knocked out with a concussion. And here's where, and then, like, this draft, in the second round, they, drafted Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Which it leads me to be, I've been saying this every week on the Meanie's Bird recap show. I think he's still suffering from concussion.
Yeah, I saw that comment from you.
His concussion, I strictly believe they drafted a quarterback in the second round because they knew the severity of his concussion, and it was a plan B. Howie Roseman, would like to say, it's just because, he hates himself for missing Russell Wilson in the draft, because the Eagles are notorious for passing on, right. TK Metcalf and Russell Wilson. I didn't want to pass up on a Russell Wilson type again. And I think they knew deep down inside there's something with the, Carson's concussion and his decision making and stuff like that, because, they put in Jalen Hurts for the last game, and it seems like Doug Peterson's coaching for his job, where it's just like, hey, look, I'm calling the same plays, and this kid is doing it, and all that stuff. It's multifaceted.
I mean, they can't have him out there if they think that there's, residual effects from the concussion. Like, they can't.
All right.
That's dangerous.
It is, but it's the NFL.
Yeah. And I guess, look, if he passes all of their, all their tests, doesn't mean he's still not feeling effects.
Yeah.
So,
dude, he's been sacked more than anybody this season. So he's running from ghosts. The offensive line's not doing him any favors. The fact that he's got another great quarterback over his shoulders doing him no favors mentally.
No, isn't he? He's like he's getting into Cunningham territory for the sacks, right?
Because Cunningham was injured a lot, and then Cunningham goes down. Mike McMahon from the Super Bowl winning Chicago Bears, he's got a Super Bowl winning quarterback as his backup, just like Wentz had Foles. And then the Eagles went and got Rodney Peete, and then Rodney Peete became the successor to Cunningham, and then him. Besides the fact that he married Holly Robinson Peete,
and then I remember also Rodney Peete. They were in the Mean Street Posse, I believe, right? Is that who yeah.
But yeah, that's what's going on with the wrestling. Just like Pete Moss. If you hung around for the PS after the last week's show.
Yep.
You heard Pete Moss and my ass.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's what's going on. This week's game, I think, is going to be really good. Because, both quarterbacks are similar. And, running quarterbacks who can actually, throw as well and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a exciting game. But, I always want to see the Eagles win. But our division is such shit that I don't want to be like, oh, we're the best of the worst. But I don't want them to be the worst of the worst.
You don't want to be the worst of the worst? Yeah.
Right. But, right now we're currently ready to take the 4th pick in the draft. But then, everybody shits on Howie's picks. But everybody who leaves the Eagles goes somewhere else and they actually play good. Like Sidney Jones is like killing it, with the Jaguars and stuff like that, How's it all these players leave and they get better,
Yeah, I feel like something's
so frustrating.
Right. Something's not right with the Eagles.
It's a cacophony of problems.
Yeah. So.
And that concludes our football talk.
How's your music?
What's that?
How's your music and your useless knowledge?
Yeah. Music.
Have you been listening? Do you listen to like Christmas music?
Yeah.
Who's your other than Trans-Siberian Orchestra? I have to imagine you're listening to them, right?
Oh, dude, Mrs. Meanie has on Mrs. Meanie's social media, she put up a really cool Christmas mix for Spotify. Here's the thing, like this is our first time not traveling since we've been together ever for Christmas. And she would always make these awesome Christmas songs. Some funny, some serious, some cover. I'm a big fan of cover tunes too.
Sure.
And stuff like that. But, there I don't even know if there's some I can't even really say. There's I ain't even going to talk about that one. But,
well, now I want to know.
There's a Tiny Tim song called Santa Claus has the AIDS this year.
Oh my!
And they try to spell it off as like that dietary supplement from back in the day, AIDS. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
There was a diet supplement in the early 80s called AIDS, AIDS.
In the early 80s, I was mostly having formula and baby food, but
yeah. So at 59 minutes, scratch this conversation.
No, I don't. So
there's like a lot of cool songs, like Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins did. He did a Christmas song. Smashing Pumpkins did a Christmas song. There's so many cool different Christmas tunes. I'm fucking brain farting here.
Well, well, while you're farting, I was pleasantly surprised yesterday on my Patreon app. I got because I subscribe to Stephen Page from Bare Naked Ladies, and so they have Bare Naked for the Holidays is an album they put out 15 years ago. I don't know when it was a long time ago. And I remember, I may have mentioned this once before, I remember being so let down because I saw the track listing long before the album came out. And I got that CD, kids, there was this thing, it was round. I got a CD and I remember listening to it. And you get to, and I love Stephen Page's voice. I love the way he can harmonize, all that stuff.
Yeah, he does a great song, Bare Naked Ladies with Sarah McLachlan.
Yes, which was recorded, I don't remember what concert it was. It was actually recorded backstage at a concert back in 96.
Dude, I've been listening to that song a lot.
Gotta Rescue You Merry Gentlemen.
Yes.
Yeah. Which
was
amazing. So cool. And that's actually on the album. And it's weird, it like cuts off at the end. And I always wondered why. And I think it's because they recorded it backstage. They were like, I think just screwing around. And that's how they got it. So they don't have like the full recording. But But on the album, a lot of things like, for instance, Silent Night was just, I think Silent Night was on, or maybe Oh Holy Night was on there. Whatever it was, they were all instrumental. That was it. They were like little like instrumental things that were being played on like a keyboard. And I was so let down by it. But well, because there was no singing, there wasn't like, it was showing off the one guy playing this stuff, but not the whole band. But last night, Stephen Page posted, he's been doing this live, like at home shows every week since the pandemic
that's
started.
awesome.
And he's off until New Year's. So he was like, but here's something for you in the meantime. And it was so cool. He recorded himself 3 times doing Silent Night and harmonizing with himself, playing a keyboard, a piano, and guitar. But he
basically David Grohl'd it. You know?
Yeah.
Dave Grohl, that first Foo Fighters album was all Dave Grohl.
But what was cool about it was, because plenty of people do that in studio, they'll play their own, multiple instruments and they'll harmonize with themselves or whatever. But he actually did a video. It was split like 3 different videos, and obviously he recorded one first and was able to hear it while he was playing the next thing and then hear the next one. But he put together this like amazing performance of Silent Night. So I was so excited. I'm like, I've been waiting for this for well over a decade. This is so great. I haven't done any of his. He does Q&As on his Patreon, and I've always been like, whenever I eventually attend one of his Q&As, my question for him is going to be, why were those all instrumental? Like what was the mindset behind that? Because they were not a band that ever released instrumental tracks. So it was so weird. But anyway, so that's my little
I'm a big fan of instrumentals too, but when you got a guy who has got a voice like that, why would you do that? It's like,
and nothing against them. They're a great band, but the instrumental was not, I mean, they've had some great sounding music, but this was very much like, it sounded like electric drums and like it wasn't good. It sounded like one guy was playing it, like their keyboardist was playing it and like doing everything, which was cool, but not for, but anyway, I think they still sold a few copies. So they're okay.
There's a song. Let me see. I'm trying to think of my buddy who fucking smarted me up to the song, but it's really cool. Happy Birthday, Jesus. It's kind of like a, if you're going to go.
Bare Naked Ladies had that. It was a hidden track on their album where they sang Happy Birthday to you, Happy Birthday to you, Happy Birthday, dear Jesus, Happy Birthday to you.
Well, this is a little bit different. Let me see if this is the same one. Let me, I tried to look it up. Yeah, I tried to look it up on YouTube.
Like a little,
Yeah, let's see. Oh, no, that's not it. Never mind.
And we're officially kicked off YouTube.
Oh my God, this song was so good. It's like real folky type song, like acoustic guitar, and
we have to figure out what it is. We'll post it in our social media.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so we don't get kicked off.
Mrs. Meanie might have it on her.
While you played,
she might have it on her Spotify. But
while you played the music, I was just gonna do that over it, just again and again and again, every single time. So then, hopefully, to throw them off a bit. Yeah. But yeah, no, hey man, this is the time of year. This music is so good. What's terrible? January 1st. Like right now, you've got snow. And that's another thing, man. How was the snow? I'll cut off my whole story about how things get terrible in January. But how was the snow for you in the city? Bless you.
Yeah, thank you. A little seltzer kiss there. It's not bad, not too bad.
No.
It sucked at first, but South Philly, snow in South Philly just sucks in general because they don't plow the small streets.
Yeah.
You gotta maybe know somebody to get the whole street plowed. So basically, what you do is just drive up and down the street backwards and forwards and trying to make a little groove and stuff like that. But it hasn't been too bad. I've actually been able to navigate our side street here. The main streets are clear because heavy traffic and sunlight actually hitting those streets. Like the sun doesn't touch the front of my house.
So that's just going to be solid ice.
Yeah. Hey, here's the fucking thing. Like maybe once every 5 years, they might come down our street with a plow, and then somebody shovels their sidewalk, and they throw the fucking snow right back out in the fucking street. I'm like, you fucking cunts. We finally got a fucking plow street, and you're throwing it out in the fucking middle of the fucking street. You fucking dickheads.
Hey, did you hear the pickup line? A snowstorm.
No.
Hey, if you want to plow, I've got 8 inches.
I got 8 inches if you measure from my asshole.
Oh, what is this episode today? What are we doing?
I have no idea.
This is great.
I don't even. Good luck naming this one.
Yeah, 8 inches from my asshole.
Great metal band. They toured with Anal Cunt. 8 inches from my asshole.
We got to come up with something else, but I really do want to name the episode 8 inches from my asshole.
Merry Christmas, 8 inches from my asshole. Fuck.
If you want to plow, I've got 8 inches. That can, I don't know. I don't know. And we can always just phone it in with meanie claws. But yeah. Meanie claws parentheses 8 inches from my asshole. Do you know when you want to be much further than 8 inches from your asshole?
What? It's the second part of that. That
was the best part.
I spit on my fucking laptop. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what happened in there. And like, what was it? Because it just seems like it sounded like you emptied out. And then there was, I'm not understanding, did you, it seems like it had to have, gone out, come back in for a second, and then back out again. Listen,
yeah.
You know?
It's like there's a speed bump. It's like it's driving by Toys R Us, and then, we got to slow down. Okay, there we go. You know.
I wonder if I can kind of do, a remix, kind of.
That sounded like Silent Night right there. do that again. That sounded like.
That is Silent Night.
That's Silent Night. I can't breathe. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Oh. Come here, kids. Oh, God. Oh, come here, kids. Oh,
I'm so proud of myself that I was able to do that. See, kids, I'm a musician, and wow, I'm not even going to ever try to do that again.
That was Silent Night.
Yep. Oh, I actually have tears coming down my face.
I laughed until I saw white. I laughed so hard I saw my grandparents, and they're fucking dead. God. Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, man. Okay, welcome back, everybody.
Hey, Grandma.
Oh, Travis says just wow.
My grandfather went, hey.
Oh.
Bakalooey.
Wow, that was... I'm definitely going to try to see if we can release that as a...
I think I just did. I think I did. Dude, I used to... We're familiar with the band Bonehead, right?
Yes.
They had a keyboard player, and he had a fart sound effect on there, and he could play songs to farts, kind of like, Ferris Bueller plays, that song with coughs. And I was like, dude, you got to play. He would, play fucking some classical music, but in the tone of farts. It was fucking amazing.
That Travis suggesting It was Violent Night.
Not so silent.
That was Silent but Violent Night. That's what he wrote. Yeah. That's fantastic. So can we call the episode that Silent but Violent Night?
Yeah,
there we go. Congratulations, Travis. You just named our episode. No, but the thing is, it's one thing to have fart sounds, right? And to like play actual fart sounds that are, on a specific key and all.
Yeah.
But that, man, just worked beautifully. That was incredible.
We made magic.
That was
you made
one
magic.
of the greatest. When people go, it'd be like, what was one of the highlights of the first 40 episodes of Mind of the Meanie? Well, it must be when we played Silent Night using nothing but pre-recorded sounds of Meanie's gas. Yeah.
Dude, I hope hopefully takes that and just fucking makes a song.
Yeah,
I'm
going to say, guys, I don't have the time, but if any of you can rip that audio and go to town on turning that into a full Silent Night. I know I only got you through like a verse and a half, but still, yeah, I didn't round yon virgins, but it didn't seem like it was a place for mother and child.
I definitely sound like a virgin, man. I'm
God. Wow, that was something.
Sound like
man.
uncorking a bottle of wine. Just Hey, Calvin.
Oh, that's
Calvin's here.
Calvin.
Yeah.
God, I feel like we should go to commercial.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's go to commercial here. When we return, maybe we'll start asking Meanie anything.
Why not?
All right. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. If you want in on the best wrestling tees in the business, Homage has you covered. All the styling, profiling, limousine riding looks from the rings of yesterday and today in super soft fabric and comfortable fits you can't get enough of.
Yeah, that's right, man. I've been a fan of Homage for years. I've been wearing their shirts for years. Everything from pro wrestling to pop culture. And, dude, I get so many reactions out and about in the wild when I'm wearing my Dusty Rhodes shirt or I'm wearing I'm a Funker shirt or my old school ECW shirt. Homage makes shirts that are comfortable and stylish and definitely retro, which is the thing I've loved about them for years.
Mind of the Meanie listeners, you can use the coupon code MEANIE for 20% off your first purchase at homage.com. That's HOMAGE.com.
Ooh, the homage.com. Freak out! Freak out! Freak out!
And we're back. Man.
Nobody from Homage.
I was going to say, that's what Homage pays for.
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, my God.
Homage is going to be that thing. I don't know why, but this was the most talked about week.
Our numbers are way up.
People just keep listening again and again to that ad read. But in all seriousness, go to homage.com and use that promo code MEANIE. They have such awesome stuff there.
Their shirts are so comfortable, man.
Yeah. Really, really great. I need to go back and order. I still haven't yet, but now that the holidays have come and gone, they haven't come and gone. They're not even here yet. Well, some have left. Anyway, I got to get that Bret Hart T-shirt, the one that I had the tank top as a kid.
Yes.
But it's like the real old school one, so I got to get that. Dude, this has been a show. It's been a really good one.
My apologies.
Good. Based on, whatever. So Meanie, anything else before we get into Ask Meanie?
Oh, my fucking cheeks hurt. Everything hurts. I have a laugh headache that's fucking insane right now.
Hey, can we talk about it real quick? I just want, as I was scrolling through just to see the Ask Meanie, your Brian Rollins shirt that is up at prowrestlingtees.com/Blue Meanie. Dude, that's because you showed that on the podcast last week.
Yeah.
And that looks so cool. If you haven't seen it, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Blue Meanie. It's really, really...
that was legit my first piece of merchandise ever.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah. Well, I'm fibbing there. It's my first T-shirt ever. I had a Zebra Kid trading card made back in the day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I still have them, too. I was like, I'll sell 1 million of these.
Dude, if you still have them.
I still have them.
I'm telling you, I think some of our pod squad would go for one of those.
Yeah.
I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I think people might actually be interested in maybe like 1 or 2 of those So Says the Superstar shirts and TWF shirts and everything. I'm like, I think they might. And she's like, you mean that we'd get that out of the house? I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
We're having a Save His Marriage sale.
Okay.
SMS. Save my... Oh, no.
What?
I was trying to do... It's the SOS. I was trying to do something for Save My Marriage, but it's SMM. I'm stupid.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. But you know what, Meanie? I think it's time to ask Meanie anything. Sound good?
Absolutely. It's time to ask Meanie anything.
All right.
Dude, I'm going to have abs by the time this fucking show's over.
Remember, we have another show to do when this is done. So
holy shit.
It's going to start off.
Holy shit. Oh, hold on.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm going to build up a whole library here.
I have more episodes than fucking Time Life book. More episodes. Fuck.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right, let's ask Meanie anything. This first one comes to us from Rai Meow 5130. I don't know how you would pronounce this. This is the episode that's going to win us all those awards.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what awards.
All those Shernie Awards.
Yeah, there's my Shernie Awards there. Hey, I'm recording Shernie Awards next week. Should I guess maybe I should give us an award. Anyway, so they write, if you could have won any belt during your runs, which... Sorry, I'm thinking about you having the runs.
I have the fucking jogs.
If you could have won any belt during your runs, which one would you pick, and who would you have wanted to beat for it? That's pretty cool. So why don't we talk first about, let's say, your run in WWE.
Definitely. Well, I challenged her to the Intercontinental belt 3 times. A couple times with... No, twice. I'm sorry. It might have been a third, but definitely against Jeff Jarrett and once against the Godfather. Mm-hmm. I challenged for the Intercontinental. To me, that was always my favorite belt. I mean, you always want to be world champion. You know, that's a given. But the Intercontinental belt seemed to be the working man's belt, kind of, in a way, you know? Mm-hmm. Definitely, I wish I could have done the hardcore title.
I was going to say, how were you never the hardcore champion? In the clusterfuck of hardcore championship matches where everyone was winning them in...
I hate myself for not pitching. I'm sure if I pitched it, they would have gave me a fucking run with it. Hey, I was in ECW, right?
Yeah.
Hey, give the ECW guy a run with the belt.
Hey, how about during WrestleMania 15 in Philly where there were like 15 different hardcore champions that night?
Right.
Yeah.
I could have been part of the lineage.
Could have been a contender.
I roomed with it once, but yeah, that's about it.
You can tell us that story?
Well, no, Al was a hardcore champion, and we used to room, and the belt, you know, you just put the belt out, and, you know, I would spoon with it.
And one early one morning, Al woke up with you covering him in the bed, and
How did John Briscoe get in here? Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, Meanie, this is Gerald Briscoe.
Dude, talk about ad-free shows. He's doing some. He did some mailbags over there. He's killing it there.
I love him so much.
Talk about his mutton chops.
Fucking epic,
man.
The man is he's a fucking man.
Yes,
Jerry Briscoe is the fucking man. Him and Taylor Williamson need their own podcast.
Yeah, I mean, if I think men, I think Gerald Briscoe and Taylor. No, I love Taylor. No, they need to.
Dude.
They absolutely
have you seen their like Twitter back and forth?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they're good friends.
Yeah,
they're good friends. The two of them on a podcast is
such
gold.
An odd couple. Just get the odd couple theme, and
the two of them on a podcast is gold. And are we?
Oh my god!
Have we just created our own podcast network where we're now going to pitch to be under have them under our umbrella? No, because what we do instead is probably go to Conrad and say, dude, you should get this on your show. And then Conrad would be like, oh, thanks guys. And then we can just take credit for it without doing any work.
Yeah. I created, Val Venus and this and that.
Thunderdome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bunch of little tissues.
You saw me drinking coffee and you wanted to make me fucking spit my fucking, you prick.
I'm kidding. I promise I won't do that again.
Son of a bitch.
Call Mrs. Meanie and go, I have some terrible news, but there's more coffee you need to clean up off of this floor.
Yeah. Hey, more of that fucking cleaning solution?
Yeah. Let's talk about ECW.
Oh, no, I wish I could have done the tag belts. There was legit. I'm not even making this up because wrestlers like to make shit up sometimes. But there was talk of me and Stevie being tag champs when I first got there, and it's never came to be. I think had I not gone to WWE, I think me and Nova would have got a run with them because we were just having matches that were getting reactions. I told the story my last match at the ECW Arena before I went to WWE. Me, Nova, and Chris Chetty against Roadkill, Doring, and Big Vito. Well,
Vito, back when he was
Vito LaGrassa.
Yeah,
he was Skull Von Crush at the time, and we had a match. And our good friend Randy, the sound guy, was always on headsets because he had to get audio cues and stuff like that. And he said, we hit the match was over, and Paul said on the headset, "No, they did it again. Stole the fucking show."
Yeah.
So we were having some matches that were getting reactions, and I remember that night we went back to the locker room, and a couple of the boys greeted us at the curtain, just because we went out and had a really good 6-man tag, and I loved working with Roadkill too, man.
Well, you have another big guy in there, big guy, but another big guy in there.
Well, that's the thing, man. Like in ECW, I was like a big guy in ECW. When I went to the WWE, I was an average size guy amongst giants. Where like with Roadkill, I felt like I could actually do stuff like take body slams and do this and that and the other thing. Like I would feed them for body slams and let them do big man shit to me. And it was cool to get to sell, where I was working with other folks, we were like kind of like on the even playing field, and or I was either equal or bigger than some of the other guys in ECW,
Yeah.
But dude, I wish I could have got a run with the tag belts.
Mark in Dryden at Mark Matsuo, always great for questions. He always sends some great ones in here.
I love this. I love answering these questions.
He has two questions. One, who are the WWE and AEW MVPs of the past year / empty arena era?
For AEW, probably Orange Cassidy. Just for his evolution of being the guy who just, comes out, does the thumbs up, and does the slow motion gimmick. to like have it like, and I'm envious that he got to do so much with so little, and that's a compliment. Like if you can do that much in front of a crowd and get over, but then the crowd goes away, you kind of have to change gears a little bit. And he was going full blast, working normal speed match. But big fan of Arch Cassidy. I've said that plenty of times before. Big fan.
Get on it, Slick.
And he gets unnecessarily maligned. People should. There's people who shit on him. I think he's great. I love him.
Yeah.
Definitely MVP for me. Him and Jericho had a match that probably shouldn't worked with the the mimosa match, which I came up with anyway on this podcast. Maybe that one wasn't as fucking scientific as orange and fucking
sometimes it's the simple things,
Yeah, but they had a great match. That's what we called on alternative commentary. WWE. Oh my God. That's a great question. I would have to say,
pardon me,
Otis maybe. I like Otis.
Otis? Would you?
I thought I heard something in my headset there. Something threw me off there.
The thing in your yeah, I got a notification telling us that we have that we're starting another show in 15 minutes, but we're not. We changed the time. So
yes, my bad.
It was a vibration. I didn't mean to vibrate on you.
Well, oh my God, Drew McIntyre. I mean, I feel so bad for Drew McIntyre being a champion, and there's no fucking fans. Yeah. If you saw how that crowd was leading up to him and Brock, building up for WrestleMania. Yeah, just from the Royal Rumble.
That was going.
That Royal Rumble reaction. Oh my God.
I wonder and I worry that they're never going to get the reaction that they would have gotten unless there is some sort of a way. Because even, let's say somehow Brock got the title back, right? He comes back when there's fans, and we build up to next year's WrestleMania, not even this year's WrestleMania, but the following. And you got Drew comes in there in front of 80,000 people, and he finally wins the title.
Yeah.
It's just not this. It's never going to be the same.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Unless
as far as
there is such an
energy,
unless there's such an energy from the crowd in knowing in almost like a behind the scenes of like, we are all here to give him what he deserved. And they're going to go extra ape shit because of that. And that's what I hope is going to happen for him. But
that's what I hope so too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said Otis because just he entertains the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Big guy who can go. But then again, I as I'm talking, I'm like, man, Drew fucking McIntyre, man, he's fucking great.
I think he's been the MVP.
It's a crime that he hasn't been in front of fans. It's been a fucking crime.
Yeah. Question number 2 from Mark was, who are any unsung heroes from ECW that no one really knows?
Yeah, because I usually say it was fucking. I always say Tracy Smothers.
But everybody knows Tracy Smothers, and at least if you listen to this podcast, you now really know everything he's done. Is there anybody else? Maybe someone behind the scenes. People who, like, you remove them and you go, man, nothing would have been the same. But people don't think about it.
I mean, everybody played a role. That's a good question, man. Because in the early days, it was, Bob Ortiz and Lex Ortiz. Mm-hmm. They, got the ECW ball rolling, them and Larry Winters, and then went to Extreme Championship Wrestling. I mean, everybody, Stevie and Gabe working in the office, answering phone calls and selling tickets. There's Tommy Dreamer and Guido and Devon working the warehouse and mailing out T-shirts.
So it's not even so much unsung heroes, people. It's all the people you do know who are doing all of these other things.
Yeah, Bubba was going to, lining up buildings. Jim Molyneux, Sign Guy Dudley, would go into a town a week of an event and go to all the radio stations and, make sure promo got, put on the air and stuff like that. I think sometimes Jack Victory, too, would go on those trips. But, Lou D'Angeli, Sign Guy Dudley, a.k.a. Paul Louis Dangerously, and Jim Molyneux, they were going to towns and, making sure flyers were up, making sure the radio ads were getting played and stuff like that. Harry Slash with the music. There's a guy named Haz.
I think you're pronouncing that wrong. It was Taz with a T.
No, it was Harry's friend, H-A-Z, Haz. It was short for something. I remember what was that show at the Hammerstein? Hey, Haz, go out and find some barbed wire for Dreamer versus C.W. Anderson. Or he fucking comes back with fucking razor wire. Which he's running around New York looking for fucking barbed wire, sees razor wire, climbs a fence, clips it off a parking lot, fucking fence, rolls it up, and runs back to the building with it, Just, there's so many,
And what was the reaction with that? Like, yeah, no, we can't use this.
Oh, they used it. They made it work. Razor wire.
Dude.
Fucking Ron and Charlie, fucking run, doing run and gun style filming. I did the opening to Heat Wave 2000.
Yep.
And
on the beach there, right?
Yeah, and the guy we did the promo with, where I beat the guy up. Some guy we're driving around Marina Del Rey, huh?
Some guy.
We're driving around Marina Del Rey, and we meet Ron, Charlie, and Bill Alfonso came along. He wasn't in the shop, but he came along. And the instructions from Paul over the phone was find somebody to do a promo with to open up the pay-per-view with Mikey and Sinister Minister. And no shit, we parked to go walk to the beach, and some guy goes, hey, I get out of the car and guy goes, hey, you're the Blue Meanie. I went, hey, you want to be on TV? And it was as simple as that.
Wow.
And we're like, hey, this is what we're doing, if you don't mind. And, we'll hit you in the nuts, and you just, and the guys were like, okay. And it was the same with the Christmas episode where BWO takes over Times Square. The Santa Claus is Stevie Kicks.
Yep.
It's just a street performer who said, oh, I want to be on TV.
And he was laid out, too. I saw that recently.
Can you take a super, hey, we're going to do this. And the guy took, that was, the take that aired was the second take. The guy took 2 bumps on concrete, and we didn't pay him. He just wanted to be on TV. Same with the guy opening Heat Wave 2000. He didn't get paid. We were just like, all right, cool. And we might have left him tickets. I think Ron and Charlie got his name and left him tickets.
That's awesome, though.
There's so many different, dude, everybody thinks they know. People go, oh, ECW, another ECW pay-per-view, or another ECW documentary, another ECW podcast. There's so many stories that haven't been told. That's why I'm looking forward to That Was Extreme, because I know I'm going to say something and Joe will go, oh, that reminds me of.
Well, that's
what he's going to say something.
When I've been writing out my notes and having all the questions, the really exciting thing is I have no idea where it's going to go. And that's
the thrilling part of these podcasts.
And that's something that I remember you said to me pretty early on. I think before we even started, one of the things that you liked about, I guess, my style of doing interviews was that I didn't just move on to my next question. I kind of would dive deeper into whatever it was you're saying and allow it to organically kind of go where it was going. So that's why I'm really excited about it. And I will remind everybody that it is free, and it will be dropping New Year's Day.
Yes.
And I think we had a conversation. I think there's going to be a whole lot of me, Meanie, and Joel that day, because I think you guys might be stopping by So Says Shernoff for the New Year's Eve Shernie Awards, Shernoff's Mega New Year's Bash special, which is pre-recorded and not live. So don't worry about that. But you'll get to count down with
pal.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that. Another question comes us from Patreon. Travis. Travis writes, what's your most prized album in your vinyl record collection? Do you have any Christmas albums? So we're talking vinyl here. We're talking your vinyl collection.
Yeah, I wish I had Christmas albums. I just found a copy of Van Halen Fair Warning. Well, not just found. I bought it, and I forgot I had it. And then when Eddie passed, Mrs. Meanie got out all the Van Halen vinyl. I was like, I know we got fucking Fair Warning is my favorite Van Halen album all time, hands down. And I was like, I know we got it on vinyl. And we just went through and found it. And what's cool about it is it's a first pressing. It's not like, they sold all those and then remade some. It's like there's a sticker right on it, right. First pressing, and it's in mint condition. And I love the sound of vinyl. We got a fucking cabinet, basically the side of the whole front of our house. It's like a piece of furniture. One side's the record player, one side's the stereo with the, you could just sit on it. It's so fucking big. And then my boy Donnie gave me, Donnie's a big vinyl freak too. Yeah. And he's been collecting a lot of shit. And he went and got a better player. He's like, I don't know what he gave it to us. So we got one in this room that we're in. So we can listen to vinyl up here. Yeah. That's like, I'm so fortunate to have friends who just get rid of shit.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of just collecting things from people. So give me whatever you have. No,
I love doing it. Mrs. Meanie hates that I do it sometimes, but Mrs. Meanie there's oh my God, what's the name of that band? Oh my God.
I think it was 8 inches from my asshole.
Yeah, they open up for Anal Cunt. Let me give me 2 seconds. So she has a.
Take your time. 1, 2.
Yeah.
3. How many? No.
She has an album from a band called Nonfiction that's really good.
Oh, okay.
On vinyl, and they have a really cool song called "The CIA is Trying to Kill Me." They have a hip hop mix, and then they have a metal mix, and they got like a bunch of heavy hitters on there, nice. Which I'm blanking. But I'd play it on here, but I don't want us to get fucking pulled from YouTube. But
yeah, and I think
we've look up Nonfiction.
Fart, so
yeah, look up. Well, maybe if you play the fart, it'll throw off the algorithm.
That's what I was thinking. That's how the whole thing started.
Let me see.
Let's see what happens. Am I gonna have to edit this whole thing out?
Bluetooth. Let's see. It's just I hope this is the metal mix. Let's see. I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Of course, that's the commercial. You just shit all over the commercial. Fucking these ads kill me, man.
Yeah.
I should. Hold on. Here we go. I hope this is the rock room. Nah, that's the oh, here's the rock version.
I was doing a remix.
This is the metal version with guys from the Deftones and Fear Factory.
Okay.
This is great wrestling music, by the way. I could totally see somebody come to the ring to this. Enough of that shit. But
there we go. Oh God, remixing.
But
yeah, that's definitely gonna get us pulled off.
Nonfiction.
When we have the final mix of
future is now.
When we have the final mix to put the podcast out, I'll maybe like lower it down a little bit, make it quieter beneath the farts. Oh man, well that's it for Ask Meanie. We don't have any other questions this week.
Anything from the chat?
Hey, anyone from the chat? Travis hit us up with one. Anybody else have any questions? We can do this now. We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. The hard way, we come to your house and we bully you into giving us. Anyway.
Ask me something.
Could that be the new thing?
Please.
It's time to ask me anything. Ask me something. Yeah, let's try that again. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
It's time to ask me anything. Ask me something.
All right, I'm pulling that. That's the new one.
You're pulling, I'm pushing.
Oh, God. Okay. Is anyone
like
still
like a pebble skipping off of water there.
Is anyone still listening to this?
Nah, they've all checked out.
Nope.
This is our last episode.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? By the way, anyone who listens on Spotify, thank you all for notifying us. Apparently, a ton of you listen to Spotify, and Spotify had a bit of an issue, which was fixed, and they put our episode up. But I was looking at our numbers. I'm like, uh-oh, what did we say last week that made people not want to? And then after Spotify put it up, our numbers just jumped significantly. So I didn't realize how many people actually listen to us through Spotify. So thank you for listening to us, however you listen to us. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm becoming a fan of Spotify. I just never really had a reason to use it. And then I had a podcast app on Roku, which shit the bed. I was like, fuck, how do I listen on Roku? Because I like putting it on the TV, blah, blah. Sure. And then somebody said Spotify. I'm like, oh, okay. And then like now that's where I do all my podcasting, through Spotify.
Hey, here was one more question from Mark from a week or so ago.
Okay.
What past or present wrestlers could have portrayed an anti-hardcore / ECW villain either almost as good or better than Cactus and Carino? Cactus Jack obviously doing the I'm hardcore, going on the Disney rides or whatever, and Carino being the king of old school, where he ironically that man never bled as much as he did when he was not hardcore, right? Like. Right. What a great gimmick. But anybody else you think really could have just kind of really done that?
Fucking Lou Thez.
Lou Thez would have been great for that role.
Lou Thez seemed to hate everything, so he would have been perfect for it. Hulk Hogan, that's not a real wrestler. He seemed like such a fucking grump.
I remember meeting Lou Thez at my synagogue.
I met him too once. Really?
I met him at my synagogue. Yes, he was there for.
Interesting.
I want to say maybe it was Haley Apter, her bat mitzvah. Could have been for Brandon Apter's bar mitzvah, Bill's children.
Nice.
And I don't remember which one it was, but he was there for the actual service in the morning, and I was invited to the either bar or bat mitzvah. I don't remember which one it was, but and
I'm gonna sound stupid here, but what's the difference?
A bar mitzvah is for a boy, and a bat mitzvah is for a girl.
Okay,
yeah, that's the only.
I was being 100%.
No. That's fair. Yeah, that's the only difference. But yeah, so I was there. I think it must have been Brandon's, because I don't know if I actually was at Haley's. I know my sister was, but I don't know. And you know who did all of her decorations for her bat mitzvah? All of had all these like great caricature things. Jerry Lawler drew them all for Haley's bat mitzvah.
So cool.
Yeah. But no. So Lou Thez.
That's amazing.
Right? I'm making. There's almost part of me that feels like I'm like lying, and it wasn't Luthez. It was definitely Luthez. Yeah.
I got a babysitter for Brandon and Haley.
Yes.
When Bill was shooting one of the WrestleManias. WrestleMania, I think it was WrestleMania 5. Because I went to over to the hotel. You're staying at the Claridge in Atlantic City. Kayfabe. Don't go there. He's not there anymore. But my cousin's girlfriend babysat for him or whatever.
Yeah.
He called me up. Hey, can you find me a babysitter? Yeah, sure.
It's funny. So no, it's definitely Luthez. The more I thought about it, it's definitely Luthez. So Bill introduced me, and it was one of those things where you're just kind of like not expecting that that's the day you're going to meet this legendary wrestling personality at synagogue in the after service luncheon. So, but that's the only time I ever met him, and.
I have a signed photo from Luthez on my wall. It says to Brian, and Brian's in quotes like I was fucking working or something.
So the working name.
To Brian.
Well, that's like when my daughter
maybe he knew I was going to be the
daughter
Blue
asked
Meanie.
me if you, what did she say? Something about, I think she was asking about if you had another name. And so I said, yeah. I said his real name is Brian. She goes, but they're still the Meanies, right? I said, oh yeah. I said, well, that's their actual name. Is they're the Meanies,
Forever.
Mr. and Mrs. Meanie. I said, but yeah. I said, but like sometimes people call him, they'll call him Brian. I said, like when he doesn't want people to know who he is. I said, that's like when he dyes his hair gray. What's that?
My government name.
Yeah. Well, I told her, I said, I've told, because my son was mentioning you too at some point. Anytime I'm like, hey, I'm going to go do my show, then they're like, it's all talking about Blue Meanie. But he had mentioned something the other day and like said like, I said, yeah, I have to do, I'm doing the thing with the Blue Meanie. And he's like, the Blue Meanie that we met. And I said, yeah. And he's like, but he no have blue hair. He doesn't have blue hair. And so I was like, well, listen, I was like, everybody would stop him and go, oh my God, that's the Blue Meanie. So that's why he has to color it that white color so that people don't recognize him. And he's like, oh, okay. So, yeah.
So basically you bullshitted your kid.
You know what? I think 95% of good parenting is knowing when to lie to your children. That's really...
My friend Sebastian has a daughter named Taylor, and they live out kind of near Limerick, PA or something like that. And they're driving down the street, and they're, you see the power plant, and then there's smoke coming from it. And she's like, "Daddy, what's that?" And he goes, "Oh, that's a cloud factory, honey."
That's amazing.
It was amazing until her daughter said it in school, and everybody was like, "What?"
Oh, that's
yeah. She's like, "Oh, my dad says that's a cloud factory," and they're like, "Your dad's dumb." No, but yeah, Sebastian was like, I probably shouldn't have done that. But it's still, it was a great comeback. But
yeah,
who knew there was going to be consequences to such a innocent fucking line? I mean, where he lives, it looks like The Simpsons, because The Simpsons, and there's the power plant in the background. Yeah. I gotta get him on the show sometime, man. We got stories.
You got to what? Get him on here?
I got.
He's a good dude.
Here one day. Yeah, dude, he's got fucking stories.
Well, he was there at ECW all the time, right?
He was considered one of the boys.
We'll have to bring him on. That was Extreme at some point when it inevitably becomes.
Well, here's my the thing with that was Extreme. I want to bring on a lot of people. I mean, we'll have Joel, me, you, and Joel, but I want to bring on guests like people. Some people might not even know. Like the question that was just asked, who's
the unsung heroes? Yeah, I think that's exactly where it should be. And I think we're setting the stage by kind of doing just the three of us for this first episode because we don't have anything other than this first episode confirmed.
Yeah, this is the pilot. Yeah, and then if they like it, we'll do more.
Yeah, so
like Pringles.
Yeah.
What's the commercial like?
If it's anything like this episode.
Yeah.
Yikes. But so yeah, I mean, this is a relatively short episode for us, but I feel like we've kind of come to the end of our journey here. And we do have to do another show that is free to all of you.
Yeah, I think this was a good episode, though, man. I don't remember laughing this hard.
I think this may be the hardest I ever laughed.
Yeah.
There was the early episode where we were talking about your balls at some point where I laughed pretty hard. I think this is the first time I've ever actually cried from laughter.
Yeah.
Not the first time I've cried from other reasons on the show. But
just the off the cuff remark. I'm a big fan of off the cuff remarks.
Yeah.
And just saying shit, catching people off guard.
And that's something that's very important for us to let our listeners know when we encourage you to check out our free show and ad-free shows. That was extreme. Just because I've got my 19 to 20 pages of notes, I don't remember how many it was. Every time I mention it, it's going to go up. Just because I have my 24 pages of notes doesn't mean you're not going to get this. You are still going to get this craziness with us. But more importantly than anything, no matter how successful that show is, and we all know it's going to be incredibly successful.
This will always be here.
This will always be here. And if anything, we'll just get even crazier.
And another thing, I was thinking this while I was driving around town, too. There's always a show going on in my head. Just because we put a lot of work in, Josh put a lot of work in with doing notes for the show. It's just kind of like how you used to work, you would book a territory back in the day. Mine and Meanie is our territory where I like to have more improvisation, off the cuff, whatever comes to mind. Now we're working the Conrad territory, the ad-free shows territory. It's like we're going from Crockett to Watts, where they want you to have, you got to have, some notes here and there and stuff. Be a little bit more prepared.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, the funny thing with it is, like, we're always more prepared than we let on because it's kind of like the gimmick, but it's also the entire intent of our podcast here is to be two friends just kind of sitting around talking. So again, you don't really need notes.
This is supposed to be us this is like us sitting at a bar, just bullshit.
Yeah. So you don't need notes for this. And that's what makes this so much fun. So, but I think, we're going to have a really great time. January 1st, New Year's Day is when That Was Extreme will drop. But first, man, I don't have to rush us off here because we're not, we can just kind of plug our shit a little bit here. But make sure if you're not subscribed to YouTube, subscribe now. Just because we hit 1,000 doesn't mean we want to stop. We want to hit 100,000.
But I want a plaque,
and I want a special with the dude from Wildcat Belts. So let's rock and roll and let him know.
I know. I talked to him. He's down.
Oh, he's down for it. Excellent. So
breaking news.
All right, cool. Yeah. So we'll do that. I think that'll be something maybe after the new year. We'll throw together and we'll do something like that.
We made the promise. We will deliver. It's just once all the holidays have petered out, died down a little bit, then we'll do the special with Wildcat Belts. And
I just want to thank everybody who's signed up for Patreon. We had new Patreon members again this week, which is just incredibly flattering every time.
Every one of you Patreon members everybody means a lot to us. Thank you, even if you're listening for free, but the fact that you're reaching into your wallet in this time.
Yeah.
It's crazy fucking time that we live in and supporting us. It's special.
We want to thank our good friend, Jason, Down Under, for sending us some awesome road, some extra road stuff. Really helped us out there a lot. And we love
so
road.
Flattering.
Flattering. Yes, we have a great relationship with Road. Thanks to Jason, who is also a Patreon member, who's amazing. Really just appreciate it so much.
I feel guilty.
I know. I'm like, why are we charging you for this? We'll continue to, of course, but we got
we got the microphone in the arm. The one that came is set up at the new one I got is set up at Mrs. Meanie's station.
Yeah.
Which I have to get like an extension cord so when she does her run-ins, she could just go to her station. She's going to be like Robin from the Howard Stern show.
Yep.
You know, it's just
That's
good.
awesome.
She has her own little Robin studio. I got. I think I asked we got together some headphones as well.
Yes.
So,
yes. Those are on their way in the check is in the mail type way because I forgot to order them. But now that I've been called out, maybe everyone can remind me on social media.
Shernoff!
I will order them as soon as we wrap up our 10 other shows.
Yes.
But yes, we'll definitely get those.
That's the cool thing about us working together. It's like things happen, but nobody really gives each other shit.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like,
it's you know,
nobody's a taskmaster. You know,
I will tell you, yeah, no Kevin Sullivan's here, pal. There's
brother.
There's also a good
Pepper
chance that I told you I
Hayes.
didn't order it, that I actually did, and I don't remember. So we're gonna look into this and find out. Or you might be getting 2 new headphones. But yeah,
Yeah, brother.
this has been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Start playing us out. Hey, everybody.
Play us out.
Do us a favor, go over to cellotoys.net or on Instagram at JBToys1 and pick up a pre-order of the Mind of the Meanie action figure 2-pack. I have the Nick Aldis one in hand. It's so freaking good. We're waiting to hopefully get the prototypes in hand to maybe film some stuff and have some fun with that. But also want to send a shout out to the people over there. I know they've been dealing with some COVID-related things, and great people over at Cello Toys. So also in general, if you're waiting for some of your stuff to come from them, the Nick Aldis stuff, I know some people have said that they're waiting. I know tons have already gotten them, but bear with them. It's a tough time. Just get those action figures, man. Pre-order them. Those are going to be so freaking cool. I can't wait. I'm so excited for those. And
I literally feel like a kid waiting for Christmas.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be later than Christmas, but we'll just keep waiting.
Yeah.
But it'll be worth the wait. They're going to be so.
But if you pre-order now, it still counts.
Yes.
So.
Oh God, absolutely. I'm so excited for those. And of course, we've plugged the heck out of our Patreon, patreon.com/mindofthemeanie, youtube.com/mindofthemeanie. We're going to be over on ad-free shows starting January 1st for That Was Extreme with Joel Gertner as well. And follow us on social media if you'd be so kind, at Mind of the Meanie across all platforms. Follow us as individuals. He is at Blue Meanie BWO. I'm at So Says Shernoff. Do not miss So Says Shernoff on Fight New Year's Eve. That's going to be a lot of fun this year. Meanie, they can go find you on Cameo.
Yeah, man. Thank you to everybody who's reached out to me this week on Cameo doing Christmas wishes. You can still get in. This is airing on Monday, so Christmas is just a few days away. If you want the Blue Meanie, me, to wish you a Merry Christmas, go over to cameo.com/BlueMeanieBWO, and I'll get those right out to you in time for the holiday.
Also, make sure that you go on over to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. We've got such great stuff that our good friend Andy Slichter has been working on for us. Knocking it out of the park left and right. It's ridiculous. But you can also go while you're there to ProWrestlingTees.com/BlueMeanie. Blue Meanie or Blue Meanie BWO?
Blue Meanie.
Blue Meanie. Every week I ask you that. And ProWrestlingTees.com/So Says Shernoff. Check out all of our merch over there. Hey, at ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie, make sure to pick up some pins.
Yeah.
You got to get some pins because we want to get more of those made. So we still have a couple hanging around. Maybe we'll just pick a bunch up for when we're able to do live shows. Clear that out. That'd be fine.
Yep.
And get some more made.
Clearing
it out. That's about it. We're going to go take a quick break. I'm going to go put my face on, and we'll get ready for our next show that we're excited to share with all of you. But until then, you can catch us every single Monday forever. This is never going to end. Ever. I mean, eventually, it all comes to an end eventually. And he's going to get that call that I'm missing. But the stress of doing 15 shows, I can't handle it the way Conrad does. But join us again next Monday for another trip into the mind of the meanie.
Blue World Order. The world of MLW radio never stops.